We want to welcome you back to part 2 of Data Self Business Intelligence. In part 1, we discussed the applications that we've done out in the field and why customers have come to us for business intelligence solutions. Today we've asked Johnny Giardi to join us. Johnny is the president of Data Self Business Intelligence, and Data Self is one of the applications we've successfully deployed to meet these needs.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Johnny Giardi with Data Self. We're going to get our session started. About 2 weeks ago, Gary did a presentation about business intelligence for distributors and manufacturers, and he covered the concepts of using business intelligence for helping companies in this vertical to improve their processes. Data Self provides business intelligence for mid-sized companies. We have been doing this since 2000. We've been working with Sage products, Sage Pro, Sage ACPAC, Mass 90, Mass 200, 500, and other products. This solution is not a black box, as some people call. It's actually Microsoft technology. We make it simpler, and we make it better for companies like you. This presentation is going to focus on how users, typically non-IT people, can actually take ownership of data analysis to make better decisions. On the technology per se, I'm going to limit myself to tell that we cover all types of BI functionality because we use Microsoft technology. So we can do analytics, data mining, dashboards, data warehousing, OLAP, and several other BI features. What are the leading benefits of Data Self BI? And before I jump into the leading benefits, let me just state the problem. Over and over, we see decision makers, business people, frustrated because they want to analyze their data. The data is there, but every time they want to see something different than what they already have as far as reporting, it is complicated. It takes too much time. They have to call other people, IT people, consultants to build reports. It takes too long. I mean, the data is there. Why is it so hard to get it? Building reports, analyzing data is usually too complicated. The leading benefits of Data Self BI boils down to having a powerful yet easy-to-use reporting solution. Our biggest vertical solution is for distributors and manufacturers. If we take the complete solution we have for these two types of businesses today, we have more than 2,000 reports and key performance indicators. Many of these predefined reports look at trends and initiatives and transactions that are important to keep track of. And too often, businesses like yours don't have time to look into those trends, and you're missing opportunities. As I go to the product presentation, I'll show some examples. And the third leading benefit boils down again to decision makers. This solution empowers decision makers to easily access operational data when and where is needed. Manager maybe is on a call with a client. They need to negotiate, and they need to know if it's worth giving an extra discount. They can easily go and analyze the data and see if that's worth it or not. Or maybe they're negotiating with a vendor or making decisions on the fly, and sometimes they need, to check data, check information, historic information, or project information to make better decisions. So we allow people to do that. It doesn't matter if they're in the office or if they're flying, across, 2 different cities, or maybe they're in front of the client. They can get the data on their notebook or over the web, whatever the media is, and make decisions better. My primary goal today is twofold. One is to show that the solution comes with a lot of value out of the box, meaning it's kind of plug and play. Once we install it, you'll be able to start using hundreds or thousands of reports and key performance indicators to analyze your business better. So we tell some suggestions on what you can look for in your data to make better decisions. The out-of-the-box solution is one of the values we provide. The second, which is the most important in the long run, is how easy the solution is to make changes, to create new reports, to modify things that are already there. So out-of-the-box solution and how easy it is are the 2 main things I want to show during the product presentation. So now I'm going to switch into our main client tool. And on this client tool, we see on the left side what is called the briefing book. And the briefing book is where we find the existing reports and KPIs. And as we can tell, we have many folders that cover different areas of the business. And as I mentioned, there are over 2,000 reports pre-configured in all of these folders. I'm going to show some of the out-of-the-box reports, the sample ones right here. And then I'm also going to show some other features that you can use Data Self BI for. On the right side of this report, of this tool, we see the query area where we see chart and grid. Some people love charts, so this tool provides a lot of ways to analyze trends visually. Some people don't like charts. They only want to see, numbers, grades. And this tool allows people to do, either or. So let me go through some of the out-of-the-box reports to give an idea of how the solution shows information. This first report here, is showing top customers by sales this year to date. We have over 300 reports covering top performers from all different business areas, sales, purchasing, GL, and so forth. When you look at top performer like this, like my top customers, if I put the mouse over the legend, it highlights the bar for this customer. In this example, showing at the top of the bar how much sales we got in this year, $407,000 in sales. If I put the mouse over the chart per se, it highlights, in this case, the bar for this customer. It highlights the customer in the on the legend, and also shows this yellow box for some more details. This kind of navigation technique of changing charts, highlighting things, sometimes it's pretty useful, especially for people that like to analyze information through charts. And I'll show some more examples as we go through the presentation here. There's a lot of reports showing top performers available out of the box. In many of these reports, we call easy money reports. They are reports that a lot of companies are not paying attention to those kind of trends. And if they do, they may realize ways to cut costs or improve sales. Let me give an example of easy money type of report. This next report here shows top customers by sales increase and top customers by sales decrease since last year to date. This is a very interesting type of report. It's looking at top change over time. In this case, it's top sales change over time. Top sales growth, these customers are growing the most since last year to date, and these are declining the most since last year to date. The interesting thing is salespeople usually go after the easy sale, as we say. They call, people call back, they make the sale, happy, move on. They call somebody, just leave a message, check on their CRM, call. Next month they call again, leave a message, and sometimes months go by, and when they realize that customer, which before was buying a lot, is getting away. Maybe a competitor is knocking on the door, maybe they're not happy with your company, and unless you act more proactively, you may lose that client. So keeping track of top change, in this example, the top decline, sales customer by sales decline, can really help your company focus on initiatives that will make the biggest challenge. Many times when we do presentations of Data Self BI using the client's data, and we show a report like this, right here they realize some of these top declines, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody's checking. And if you reverse the trend of one of these clients alone, you may pay for the investment in Data Self BI. Sometimes, when we're doing presentation of Data Self BI, the demo stops here, they ask how much it costs, and it's a done sale. If we show something that your company is not paying attention to, it may, help you reverse a sales decline. Right there, the solution has been paid for. And we have, many reports that show important trends like this. Another example, again, on the sales side, also looking into important trends or perspectives. This report here is called exception reporting. In exception reporting, technology or techniques are used to help analyze trends or type of transactions that are no longer happening. And this example is very informative for this kind of concept. This report is showing regular customers with no sales recently. So it's an exception. These customers here, they were placing orders in the last 90 days, but they're no longer placing orders in the last 30 days. Is that okay? Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes they only buy once a quarter. But if you have recurring customers that are buying often and they're no longer buying, then that can be trouble. You better call these customers and check why they're no longer buying. Again, I'm just showing some concepts here in what kind of reports come out of the box. Let me also show on the inventory side how we can also help you more efficiently manage your inventory. This is just a very simple example. You know, I'm looking at one particular type of product, and then I see, in this case, how many items I have on hand today, how many items are inbound coming from purchase order into my inventory in the next months or maybe weeks or days, whatever, you know, the forecasting period that we're trying to analyze. Then we can plug some sales forecasts, you know, how many items are going to go out on our inventory based on current open orders, or maybe we can plug forecasting based on past results or information from our clients. And with that kind of information, we can forecast how many items we're going to have on hand, again, by month, by week, by day, whatever time frame that you want to analyze your inventory. This is just like a summary showing graphically. Some people like to see the information on a spreadsheet format. So again, you know, I have my items here, and then for every time bucket that I chose, I can see, you know, quantity on purchase order, the sales forecast, the quantity on hand forecast at the end of the period for all those different, you know, segments. So again, this is just an example of out-of-the-box report that can help you manage your inventory more efficiently. This information I'm showing using this client tool. We can also see similar information using Excel. You know, some people prefer to use Excel as a reporting tool. You know, we can build a report like this showing, in this case, sales, actual and projected, comparison by month, year-to-date type of thing. We can also use the inventory replenishment planning functionality, you know, put in Excel. In this Excel here is combining information from on-hand quantity, open purchase order, open sales order, sales projection, reorder parameters, what's the forecast, when I'm going to run out of inventory. And then you can kind of proactively say, I'm going to place an order here, and then it automatically tells when to place the order, who the vendor should be, the most likely vendor should be, and what is the cost of that item. On Excel, we can also have executive dashboards. So, you know, let's say the CEO, the president, wants to every morning open and see what's going on with my business. And it's very easy to build a report like this, a dashboard like this. You know, we have information from receivables, inventory information, GL information, everything on a single dashboard. All the things that I'm showing here today, a user that has been trained on the solution would be able to build these views and dashboards in minutes. And the user doesn't need to be IT. These things can be done by, you know, managers, by people that go through the training. Now let me show a little bit of, you know, how to modify reports in DataSelf BI. I'm going to show very quickly the two examples. One is how to change an existing report. So suppose I open this report here, I look at my top customers, and I want to see last year's sales and this year's sales side by side, you know, 2 years side by side. Well, I can pick both years, 2008 and 2009. I press the apply button, and right there I get the answer. 2008 and 2009 side by side. Sometimes if you want to analyze the information visually and I want to see growth or decline or something like that, sometimes changing the data presentation can help you visualize different answers more easily. In this example, if I right-click and I pivot this chart, now I have my customers on the x-axis, and for every customer I have a yellow bar for 09 and a blue bar for 08. So visually I can easily tell this customer is declining sales since last year. This one is growing sales since last year. Maybe I want to see, you know, different type of chart types. And this tool provides easy ways to do that. Let's say I want to see a pie chart. I click the pie chart button, and bingo, you know, I got a different piece of information. Let me go back in this example here a couple of times. In the back and forward button work just like on a web browser, so it's pretty convenient. What if I want to drill down into more details? Let's say I want to see sales by quarter, by month, by day, maybe by week, fiscal period, you name it. In DataSelf BI, we can create any kind of time buckets to analyze data. And once the time buckets are created, users, you know, that are not IT people, they can easily slice and dice data by those time buckets. In my presentation, I have calendar time buckets. So let's say if I want to see sales by quarter in 2009, I just click on the heading of 2009, and right there I drill into quarter 1, 2, and 3. If I want to see sales by month in the first quarter, I can click on the heading of the first quarter, and right there I jumped into March, February, and January. Maybe I want to see several periods side by side, years, quarters, months, weeks, you name it. I can also use the timeline bar and select, let's say, from January all the way through August. I press apply, and that's the answer. Maybe I want to see non-consecutive periods. Let's say I want to compare seasons, maybe summer versus last summer, or the same month, different years. Let's say July 09, July 08, July 07. Press apply. And that's the answer. I'm looking sales by my top customers in those 3 months. What if I want to see something else related to my top customer, for instance? I want to see maybe who sold to this customer, what warehouse shipped the product, what products were sold, you name it. I can just right-click, choose drill down, and then the drill down shows me a list of what we call reporting parameters. This is where things start to get really interesting. Usually when people are trying to analyze their operations, let's say, purchasing, GL, sales, you name it, usually there's a fairly well-defined set of reporting parameters, as we call them. What are reporting parameters? Well, for sales are things like, customer, salespeople, territories, product line, product, shipped to, dates, and people want to see, let's say, cost of sales, sales amount, quantity shipped, quantity returned, gross profit, growth, you name it. And every time that people ask for a different piece of information, actually they just want to see a different combination of the reporting parameters. They want to summarize it differently, maybe sort it differently, filter differently, but it's always the same reporting parameters. If you don't have data self-BI, every time you ask for a different report, you got to call IT and ask them, I want to see a report showing this, this, and that. And then you have to wait. It may take hours, days, or even weeks to get the report back. With data self-BI, we actually take the reporting parameters and we add to the data self-BI list, like here. These are the sales reporting parameters. So in any sales report, I'm looking at any kind of piece of information and I want to see something else. Let's say I want to see, in this case, what products were sold. You just come to the list and choose that parameter. Let's say product in this example. And right now, the report turned into a product sold to that customers in those 3 months. So the reporting parameters allow people, non-IT people, to easily make changes. You don't need to use tables, link information. You don't need to know the accounting package. You just know your reporting parameters and you drag and drop them. Let me show another simple example. I'm going to build a report from scratch now, showing again the concept of reporting parameter. And this is one of the most important messages that I want to show to you today is user-friendliness. Maybe you're not going to have time to learn how to do this, but most likely somebody in your organization can put 1, 2, 3 hours into training into data self-BI. And for these people, they will be able to build reports in seconds or minutes, things that today most likely you're waiting hours, days, or weeks to get the same information. So building reports, modifying reports is really straightforward. So this setup panel controls my report area. And here we have the reporting parameters available out of the box. For customer, we have account manager, customer information, name, address, so forth. For products, we have, product line, product description, and so forth. The bottom area of the report controls what my query area shows. So let's say I want to build a report showing sales by salesperson in the second quarter of 2009. I'm going to do it quickly just for you to have an idea of how easy this is. So I don't want to see in my rows company. I want to drag it out. I want to see salesperson. Let's say salesperson name. So I drag it in, press apply. So I see a list of all my salespeople. And now I'm going to drill down into the different time buckets. 2009, I want to go to the second quarter and see sales by month. That's my report. Sales by salesperson in those 3 months. Maybe I want to break down this report by product line. Easy. find the reporting parameter, drag and drop. Press apply, there you go. Sales by salesperson by product line in those 3 months. Maybe you want to see quantity shipped instead. I go to my measures, double click it. It shows my options for measures available. I want to see quantity shipped, press apply. That's quantity shipped. Maybe I want to see gross profit percentage. Pick and choose. A person with little training can build reports from scratch in less time than it takes to eat a donut. That's our kind of catchy phrase. We empower business users, non-IT people, to build reports from scratch. And in more than 70% of the cases, these people can do it without calling support, without calling IT. That's our goal, is empowering decision makers with easy access to information.
Johnny, I have one question. What is the pricing for this product?
Good question. Well, we have 2 pricing models. We can sell the software or we can rent it. And if we rent it, it can be monthly or it can be yearly. Overall, about half of our client base, they got their feet wet. They got the initial investment in the low $1,000, getting some licenses, getting things tested and happy. But we also have clients that have very sophisticated needs, or maybe lots of users, and then the solution can get into 10, 20, and we have people that goes into the $50,000, $80,000 worth of investment. The good news is, we have the skin in the game. We'll give you 60 days to test it. If you don't like it, we'll give you the money back. So we want to be sure that you test the solution, be happy with it before you commit fully with your investment.
Great, thank you. Another question: how long does it take to get this product?
Good question. The actual installation, per se, it takes usually hours, but in real life, there's a lot of things to be considered. We have to see where we're going to install the server. We have to be sure we bring the data over. Once we do that, sometimes we realize that the company has some data, we call data integrity issues, so those things may have to be addressed so you can have clean data when you do reporting. So overall, we tell people within a month, users will have the solution up and running, even though, as I mentioned, we have some deployments where if the client has everything ready, in a few days we can actually get the system up and running.